Very good morning, guys. Last day we just been talking about model objects. So totally we saw all the 8 options basically now. What's it? View data, view back, temp data, cookies, session, applications, anonymous types, models. Anonymous types and the models. Totally 8 different options. What we have just been discussed. All the 8 different varieties of ways how you can class. And finally we concluded like models are going to be type safe with intelligence support. Type safe with intelligence support. Okay. So these are the various options I was just telling you in this. Well, actually, in web applications here, I'm not talking about MVC. In web applications, we have a concept called as state management. What is a state management? Web applications are stateless. Web applications are stateless in the sense you pass any values to a request. You pass any values to a request and you want to consume those values in another request. I repeat, guys, if you pass values to one request and if you want to consume those values in the next request, you can't access them. You cannot access them. The reason why we cannot access is whenever a request comes to a web application collection of web pages, right? A request comes to a web page now. A request comes to web page. Now, what will the web server do? Web server starts processing the page now. Web server starts processing the page. Processing is completed. Once the processing is completed, you get some results. Now the results are rendered. Remember rendering? Converted into text format, HTML in text format. The results are rendered. And once the results are rendered, once the results are rendered, output is sent to browser. Once the output is sent to browser, it will delete everything about that page on the server. It's a whitewash. It's just like a whitewash. Once the output is sent to browser, immediately all the information is cleared off. One of them I'm telling you. You have a login page. You have a login page. You enter two text boxes on the user ID password. You entered the user ID, you entered the password, clicked on the login button. Now the 2 values goes to server. Once the 2 values comes to the server will start processing the logic now. It checks whether this user ID password matches with a user ID password in its database or not. Are you clear? Processing done. Matching. Once the matching is done now, it has to send some results to the user now. Now the results are rendered. The results are rendered and sent to browser. Once the output is sent to browser, immediately all the information what is received by the server will be destroyed now. User ID passwords are deleted. It is deleted. Not only I'm not talking about MVC here. I'm talking about the behavior of every web application. Any technology you take, all web applications behave in the same way. So what we call them? Web applications are stateless. Are you getting me or not? Web applications are stateless in the sense the values that are submitted to the server in one request are not accessible to you in the next request. They are stateless. But I want them. I want the values. You submitted some values to page 1. I want to use those values in page 3. Did you get my point or not? You submitted some values to page 1. I want to use the values in page 3. Or I want to use the values in page 10. Different places I want to use them. Are you getting me? If that is the case, you're required to perform state management. What do you need to do? State management. The state management has to be done. How, sir, how to manage the state? Managing the state is nothing but storing that value somewhere so that you can use in the next request now. How to manage the state, sir? You learned already. You can manage the state by using all these techniques. 1. Query strings. We use the query strings, remember? Using query strings, we can pass the values from one place to another place. Second one, hidden fields are like text boxes, not visible to user, but values will be present. Just text box only, but it won't be visible to user. Third option, you can use temp data, you can use cookie, you can use session, you can use application. What you cannot use? View data. View data is accessible only in one request only, remember? View data, view bag, anonymous types, model objects, these cannot be used here. What can I use? Temp data, cookie, session, application. Apart from that, hidden fields and query. In this, we did not see anything, but there is only hidden fields. We'll see that also going forward. But don't forget, all of you, what is it? Web applications are stateless. Okay, so all of you, carefully, web applications are stateless. That is, we can never access the values of one request in the next request of the same page or other page also. Same page also in the next request we cannot access. See, I sent a request to a page here. Very simple logic I'm writing in the page. What is that? I'm trying to increment one variable x. I declare one variable x is equals to 0. And I'm trying to increment that particular value x plus equals to 1. In one request, the value became 1 now and the response is sent to browser. Now in the second request, I want to make it 2 now. When the request comes again, the value will be 1 only again. Why 1? If the old value 1 is saved, you can set the new value 2 now. When old value 1 is not saved, how can you set the new value? So always what will be the value, 1 only. 100 times you call the value will be 1 only. Same page also we cannot access the values. Same page also not accessible. Other page also not accessible. But sometimes we may need the values of one request in the next request to same page or other page. Yeah, sometimes we may require now. We may require some values like this. And to overcome this problem and maintain the state of values between the same page or between different pages, we are provided with a concept called as state management. State management means maintaining the state of the values between the requests. And in ASP.NET, to maintain the state of values, we are provided with various techniques. All these are the techniques what we have. Already I explained you, store the values in the temp data and you can access them in the next request now. We saw that. Store the values in the cookies, we can access them in the next request now. Store the values in session, we can access them in next request for that particular user. And storing the values in application, we can access. That's why in the last examples, if you remember, I showed you navigating from one page to one page, one page to one page to make you understand that concept only. When you navigate from page 1 to page 2, page 2 to page 3 between controllers and action methods, the code is working and the values are coming or not. Why the values are coming? Because I'm maintaining the state of the values. How I maintain? I maintain sometimes by using application for global for user, global for all users, global for, and here client side, and here between multiple requests here also used, but once access the data will be deleted. Once access the data will be deleted. Yeah, another difference I did not tell you. What is it? A template and cookie. Sorry, template and session. What is it for template also and session? What is the difference? You'll be having a doubt. Actually, template can store only scalar values. Temp data can store only scalar values. Means I can store a string or an integer or something. But sessions can store scalar as well as complex also. Tomorrow, I want to store a list. I want to store a list of strings. I can't store in temp data. I can store it only in a session. Otherwise, temp data session will maintain values between multiple requests now. Then another biggest, what is the difference, sir, with temp data and session? That's what the difference between temp data and session is. Temp data can store only scalar values, but cookies can store scalar as well as complex also. Application also, scalar, complex, everything. Difference now you understood? Temp data, cookie, application, as well as session. All these things can be used for maintaining the state of values. And once I shown you query strings also, if I did not show anything, that is only hidden fields. Going forward somewhere, I'll show you about the hidden fields also. But don't forget this terminology. What is it? State management. What is state management? Maintaining the state of values between multiple requests of a page is called as state management. And in MVC, to maintain the state of values, we are provided with various different techniques like query strings, hidden fields, temp data, cookie, session, and application. Okay, depending on the requirement, whether you want to access this specific for a user or specific, common for all users, you are required to pick up the appropriate option. Already I said you the scopes of all in your previous classes. Is that clear, everyone? Well, before I go to the next topic, I just wanted to, yeah, you're right. Go get, forget. That is a perfect terminology. Get the value, again immediately forget the value. When the response is sent, forget the appropriate values. That's what we call stateless behavior. Starting classes, we've been, I said, I'll tell you later. Guys, watch. Browser sends a request. Request goes to routing. Now on the server, there will be a component called as MVC handler. MVC handler. So the routing will send all the values to MVC handler. And remember routing will divide them now in a key value combination. What is it? What is the controller name? What is the action method name? What are the route values? ID, name, all the thing, route, everything is divided. And a dictionary of values will be sent to. Now MVC handler will check now. What is the controller to process now? And now this MVC handler will pass the request to controller. Will pass the request to the controller telling so and so action method has to be executed. Now what will controller do? Controller will pass you to the action method now. And now the action method will be executed. Now the action method will be executed. And every action method returns an action result. Yes or not? Every action method returns a action result. Here, action method execution will complete now, and the result will come. Now the result is sent to, okay, the result is a view result, not a view result, it can be an action result. In general, I said as view result, but exactly speaking, what is the action result? Now this result goes to view engine. What will the view engine do? The view engine will render a view, render the output now, and the view is sent as a response to the browser. Did you guys understand? One more time I'm showing you. Request, first from the browser, request comes to routing. Now it will pick the route value. The route is going to be divided into dictionary format now, and all the values are passed to. The MVC handler will check which controller should be invoked now, and MVC handler will transfer the control to controller. Yeah, you're calling home controller. Okay, come on, home controller. This so and so method should be executed. Now, home controller will check now what method has to be executed. One action method has to be executed. So there are 10 action methods. You want to call action method 5 now. So now the action method execution is completed. Finally, the result of the action method is a view result now. With all the view result goes to view engine. What will the view engine do? Rendering. The view engine will do the rendering, converts everything into HTML. That's what we call as a view. And this view is sent as a response to the browser. This is the life cycle of a ASP.NET MVC request. ASP.NET MVC request life cycle, we say. It's a request life cycle. When a request comes to the server, how the response is sent back to the browser. Who comes into picture? Routing comes into picture. MVC handler comes into picture. Controller comes into picture. Action method comes into picture. Action result. View result means action result only. Na? View engine. Finally, rendered into view. And that is sent as a response back to the browser. Is it clear? Okay. So here, going back just to try to read all the appropriate things. I given you a description for everything. I already explained you all these things in the previous classes. Okay, all these things: routing, MVC handler, controller, action execution, view result, view engine, view. Everything I just given you descriptions also for the appropriate thing. Try to Go through it and find out. If you have any doubts, let me know. I will explain, because I already explained about routings and all the things to you. So you analyze yourself and try to find out what exactly is routing, what is MVC handler, what is a controller, action execution, view result, view engine, and the view. Is it clearer, everyone? Okay, so this is the request life cycle of your MVC application. What is rendering? We already talked about rendering. Rendering is a process of converting into HTML. MVC handler is a component on the server which handles MVC requests. Which handles the MVC request. See, simply you go to your bank. Different employees will be there, or otherwise you take an organization. Different managers are there. Every manager responsible to handle a different type of activity now. Sales manager responsibility is to take care of the sales now. Production manager is responsible to take care of the production. HR's manager responsibility is to take care of the HR policies. So everyone has a different work to do. Same way on the web server, there is something called as MVC handler, and this MVC handler's responsibility is to process a MVC request. MVC requests are processed by MVC handler. It's a process of your web server. Sorry, it's a part of your web server. It is inside of a web server. You take a browser here. Who will process HTML pages on your browser? HTML parser. HTML parser. Who will process JavaScript? JavaScript engine. Who will process XML? XML parser. You understand the browser also has so many components in it now. Where each and everything will take a responsibility of something now. If this is a HTML, HTML parser will come now, understands HTML and displays the output. If there is an XML file, XML parser will come. If it is a JavaScript code, JavaScript engine will come. Got it or not? Like this, different components will be present for processing your request. For processing MVC request, who is responsible? MVC handler under your web server. That will take care of processing an MVC request. I posted the videos already in the Google Classroom. Go through them. But till the last Sunday, all videos are used. Till last Saturday, all videos are in the Google Classroom only. Na? Just go and watch them. Where are we? Okay, state management. Today, let's focus on UI designing. We're not focused much on the UI designing. One day, we just copied some static HTML code, login, registers, and all, and we created, but still we did not focus much on them. Yeah, we'll try to understand in depth about UI designing now. Okay, well, listen, all of you. User interface, nothing but a view. This is very important for a web application. This is very important for a web application. For what? For taking the input from the user or displaying the result to the user also. Or if you want to take any input from the user or you want to display any result to the user, views are very important. Without a view, you can't do anything now. Am I right or not? So views are very important for us. The question is all about how to create a view. Yeah, to create views or to create UI, we take the help of controls. We need the help of some controls, text boxes, buttons, labels, text box, all these controls. And you already have some knowledge of this in your HTML classes as well as in your Windows programming also. You're coming across controls. Yes or not? So what is important? Controls. Controls are important for creating. Okay. In your HTML classes, You learned about so many controls now. Using those controls, we can create the UIs now. Using those controls, we can create the user interfaces. Yeah, we can do it. But listen, in MVCR, just a second. In ASP.NET Web Forms, listen carefully. To design user interfaces, there are two options. Two options. What is it? First, use HTML controls and design. Second, use what is it? Use ASP.NET Server controls and design. What is this ASP.NET Server controls? Just like in your Windows Forms, you have controls now. Are you learning about the controls in the Windows Forms now? Same controls are available for you in the ASP.NET Web Forms also. Text box, but now all classes. All are classes. Button class, text box class. Using them also we can design. Options Microsoft has given. One is use HTML controls. Use ASP.NET Server control. These are all classes here, just like our Windows controls. We can use them in design. Okay. Now, just to an idea given you, we are not learning about this. Okay. Come on. Second option. In ASP.NET, three options are there. What are three options? Option one, again, HTML controls and design. Second, use HTML helpers. Three options are there. I'll tell you each and everything for you in detail. So we'll understand. You know, HTML controls, I don't require to tell you again from the ground level. So what I need to teach you is HTML helpers. If you know HTML helpers, strongly typed HTML helpers are also same only. Both these two are same only. One difference is there. That's all. We'll talk about it in it. Once you understand HTML helpers, it is easy to understand strongly typed HTML helpers also. But first option, HTML controls. The first option is HTML controls. Okay. So we have in HTML, we just have a lot of HTML controls for designing the user interfaces. So we'll try to use them in our code now and create a user interface. Okay. Well, let me create a new project, guys. I'm leaving the data transfer project. I'll create a new project. I'll say MVC UI designing. ASP.NET web application. MVC UI designing. MVC 11. Empty MVC. Uncheck all the other checkboxes, create. Okay. Let me add a controller in the project. Add controller. I want to name it as EMP controller. EMP controller. Yeah. In this, I want to write a method, guys. Careful, listen. Add EMP. When I call this method, it has to launch me a view now for entering employee details. Name of the user, job of the user, salary, some status, like this few information I want to take from the user. Are you clearer or not? What do you want to take? I want to take some information from the user. Is it clear, all of you? Okay, this is what. So create a view now. Right click, add view. I want to create the view. I just wanted to create the view now. And in your HTML classes, your teacher might already said you this point. What is it? If you want to have some controls, and on the click of a submit, if the values has to reach the server, all your controls must be inside of a form tag. Yes or not? Don't forget, guys. What you know? In every GUI application, form is mandatory. You learned in Windows programming also, remember? To create a GUI application in desktop, you need to take the help of Windows form. It is a mobile application, mobile form. It's a web application, web form. We need a form now. So without a form, you cannot place the controls. What happens if I place controls with a form? If you place something without a form now, without a form, the submit button will not contact the server now. The submit button will not contact the server. Okay, let me show you. I am not writing any form, guys. Have a look. A very simple code. What I'm doing, see. Enter employee ID. Input type is equals to text. Name is equals to ID is equals to. Yeah, you learned about these two attributes now. What is the difference between name and ID? ID, unique name. What is the use of ID and what is the use of name? ID is a value that is used on the client side, and the name is the value that is used on the server side. Tomorrow, when these control values are being submitted to the server, it will use this name as a key now. ID is equals to the value what you entered. Name is equals to what the value entered. Job is equals to means all these four means these names are there now. These four are used as a keys to send the values to server, and the server used to read this. So generally in HTML classes you learn this or not, I don't know. Generally name and ID. IDs are for client side scripting. Names are for server side scripting. Generally both will have same values. If both are having the same values, it won't be confusing again. You can give different values also. But again, remember that name and this name for client side, one name, server side, another name without confusing. The general mechanism is always try to use the same value for ID also, name also. Okay. When you are referring to this, you want to refer to this control and write some JavaScript code now. Use ID. Are you getting my point here? Okay. No, I want to read the value of this control on the server. I want to read the Xbox value on the server. Use name. Use name. There use ID. Sorry. Client side use ID. Server side use name. Okay, now. So 4 text boxes here. And below this, let me add 2 buttons also. What? Submit button, reset button. Submit button is to save. Reset button is to clear. Okay, now run. Client side means CSS also client side only. Nah? Why do you tell that? Try inside, I said you want in JavaScript, you want in a CSS, anywhere that ID on it. Yeah, guys, I'm entering one name ID now. Some name, Scott. Job, manager, salary, 50,000. When I click on reset, array, not working, see? Reset has to reset. We learned in HTML. And when you click on save, these values should hit the server now, but not responding for the two buttons. Why, sir? Why not responding? Because your code is not inside of the form tag. Did you understand my point or not? What is the reason? Because my code is not inside the form tag, and none of these buttons will perform their actions now. If you want this submit button, reset button to work, your code must be inside of a form tag. Come on, let's put our code in the form tag. Form. Listen, guys, form. Do you remember the attributes of a form? Just a second. What are the attributes of a form? First one, action. Second one, method. These are the two important attributes of a form. One is action, one is method. What is this action? Action indicates like when you click on the submit button, what is the action method it has to call? What is the action method it has to call now? You clicked on the submit button. Now it goes to server. Now on the server, it has to call some action method and give all the values to that action method now. Are you clearer or not? For example, here you're writing a method public view result. Okay. Capture. Some method with a name called capture. Now understand here. What is the name here? Is the same name I need to mention here. Is it clear or not? What is that? The same name I should mention here. So whenever I click on the submit, it will call the action method called as capture. It will call the action method called as capture. I'll show you. Wait. Next, method. What is this? Method is equals to, what is this method? How you want to transport this data to the server? How you want to transport this data to the server? When you're transporting the data to the server, guys, there are two different options that are available now. What are the two different options? Get and post. What is get? What is post? Get means the values, listen, the values are sent to the server as a query string. The values are sent to the server as a query string. And you can see all those values in the address bar. You can see all those values in the address bar. The address bar will show you all the values. Did you get my point or not? The address bar will show you all the values. Second option, post. What is post? In this case, the values are passed to the server by using some HTML headers, HTTP headers. They're passed through some HTTP headers, and the values are not visible to anyone in the address bar, or no one can see the values. No one can see the values. So that's what we call get method, post method. If I don't specify anything for this, default is get method. Are you clearer? And if I don't specify anything for the action, default is same. What is it? Add emp will call add emp only. Did you understand what I said here? Okay, let us do one thing. I'm not writing their action also. I'm not writing their method also. Both these two I'm not writing, but form tag is available now. Okay, now just a minute. Now see, you have two methods. One is add emp, one is capture. Otherwise, capture emp, something. But now when you call this add emp, it will launch the view first, right? Okay, the view is launched. You have form tag, the click of submit and reset will work now. Submit and reset will work now. Okay, field values 1001, some name Scott, job manager, salary 50,000. Click on the reset. Working, see? Reset working now. Okay, why sir? Why it worked? Why it worked? Because it is under the form tag. Now save, submit also will work now. All of you see the address bar once. Correct? Huh? When you click on this button, again it will go there only. That is what we call as get. The values are transported to the server as a query string. And the values are a key value combination now. The keys are names now. All the values you enter, the names are taken as a key now. Remove the name, the values won't be sent to server. ID is there. ID is not accessible to you on the server. ID is only for client side. Name is for server side. So generally, without two different values for name and ID, make a habit of using the same value for name also, ID also. See now, first one's name is ID. Name only. Name is job. Name is salary. All the values. Can you see them in the address bar? This is called as a get method. This is called as get method. Is it secured? It's not secure. Tomorrow, it's a login page. The password will be visible in the text boxes now. The users can see the password in the text box. The biggest danger. So this is the biggest danger because all the values will be visible to you in the text boxes. So this is not a right way to transport. But this is a default mechanism what it uses. If you want to hide them, then use method is equals to post. If you use method is equals to post, now also data is transferred to the server, but in a encrypted format through HTTP headers, and the values are not visible to user. Users cannot see that values, but in encrypted format, the data goes to server. Okay, run again. Click on the save. See that you don't see the values in the address bar now. Why, sir? Method is post. Method is post. But now also we're seeing add EMP only now. Why, sir? Because you did not specify the action attribute. Action is to tell which method it has to go now. If you don't tell anything, by default, it will go back to the same method only. By default, it will go to the same action method. Add EMP is going back to add EMP only. Are you clear? No, sir. Take me to capture EMP. Take me to capture EMP. How do you tell? Action is equals to tell the method name. What is the method name? Capture EMP. I'm asking it to go to capture EMP right now. So run again. Is that clear? Sir, error came. We did not create a view. We did not create it. That is a view engine error. Huh? But see, observe the URL. Where is it going now? Capture EMP. Is it clear? Okay. So capture EMP like this. For everything, we need two methods now. One method for launching the page. One method for receiving the values back. Okay, now, if tomorrow 10 views are there, 20 methods are required. Understood? So the problem is not any error, but the problem is you are required to give a different name for get methods and different name for post methods. And to resolve this problem, I already said you a technique, guys. What is it? Here also, give the name as add EMP only. So first this has to launch the view, and next this has to receive the values now. And to differentiate them, tell this method should execute for get request, and this method should execute for post request. This get and post is not what I'm telling the get and post. The HTTP get, HTTP post. That is get and post. Get and post means how the values are transferred to the server. But HTTP GET, HTTP POST is different. What is it? HTTP GET means the request is sent for getting the page. First time you send a request to get the page, man. First time you open a browser, type the URL. What you're expecting? You're expecting the page to come onto your system now. That is what we call as a GET request. Now, first request comes to GET. Now you fill the values, click on the button now. What are you doing? Understand, you're posting the data to the server. What are you doing? Posting the data to the server. That is called as a post request. And we specify it as HTTP post. If both method names are same, I don't require to write this now. Simple method is equals to post is enough now. I don't require to write. Action is equals to again. Why, sir? Why to the need of writing action is equals to? No need. By default, add-emp will hit add-emp only. Are you clear? But to tell the difference, what I'm telling you, hit this method for a get call and hit this method for a post call. Get call means first request. Post call means submit. Post call means submit. See, you open a browser now. You're typing HTTP, the URL, and you're calling the add-emp. When you call add-emp, immediately what will happen? The request goes to server and add-emp page comes to the client now. And this request is called GET request. I'm sending a request to get the page. I'm sending a request to get the page. Now I filled all the values, clicked on the submit button. Now I'm not sending a request to get the page here. I'm posting the data to the server now. So that is called as post request. So how to differentiate? Now tell me, in post you want to receive the values now? Yes or not? If you want to receive that values, do one thing. Now, what is it? Define parameters to the method. Define parameters to the method. And I already explained you, MVC has a beautiful concept called as a name mapping system. Yes or not? If your parameter names are exactly matching with control names, the text box values will straight away come and fall to you here now. Watch it. Int ID. This name matches with the ID text box now. String name. String job. Okay. Salary. Double salary. Just add a breakpoint here, guys. And add a breakpoint here also. I added a breakpoint both at get and post now. Okay, now? Now let me run this. Tell me what the controller name, EMP, add EMP. This is my first request I'm sending now. And this is called as open the mouth. Get request. This is called as a observe it. It is going and calling the get method. See. Are you clear? View launches. Now fill the data. Click on save. Click on save. It went to post now. Not only going to post here, all your 4 values should be in the text boxes now. See. If you are working with any other technology apart from MVC, you need to read each control value individual. You need to read each control value individually. How to read? Request of ID, request of name, request of job, request of salary. 4 values should be explicitly read now. But MVC tells you no need. Take the parameters I'll give you. And another advantage, type safe. When I say request of ID, request of name, all the values will come as strings. You need to do conversion again. But here I did not do any conversion. See? Did I do any conversion? I directly take an ID. Straight away value comes to the integer now. Okay? But without parameters, if I want to do, without parameters I want to do, outright the logic, int ID is equals to request dot, just here, request dot form of ID. Error coming now. Why? String, sir. So what you should write? Int dot parse. You should write int dot parse now. Same way. String name is equals to request dot form. Next. Okay. String job. String job is equals to request dot form of job. And double salary is equals to request dot form of salary. You'll be asking me a doubt now. What is the request dot form, sir? If the mechanism of transporting the data is post, if the mechanism of transporting the data is post, we should read it by using request dot form. If the mechanism of transporting the data is a get, we require to read it as request dot query string. All these are the headaches here. Tomorrow, if we change their getter post, here my code changes again now. But MVC tells all this unnecessary for you. That is a query string, whatever the mechanism, I will read directly through the parameters. And all this nonsense is not required for you. Is it clear, all of you? Yes or not? All this nonsense is not required. Straight away, your values comes now and sits under the 4 parameters. So did you understand? Yes or not? And one more thing I want to tell you. What you know? This is to tell this is a get method. This is to tell this is a post method. Okay. I'm removing here, but still it works. How, sir? When the second method is post, automatically first method is get now. Or I reverse it also, it will work. Or first method is get, then automatically the second one is post. Are you getting me or not? If you write it on top of both methods, yeah, that is user friendly, very good to well to understand. But without that, if you write on one method also, you know, the second method is automatically taken as an opposite now. Okay. But first time we are doing, so let's write on top of both the 2 methods. Okay. This is get now and this is post. Now in the post, you receive all the values now. Yes or not? Once I receive all the values in the post, what I just wanted to do is, I wanted to show these values in a view. I want to show these values in a view with the name called as display EMP. What is the view name? Display EMP. Okay, so I want to specify the name here. Display EMP1. I want to give the name as display EMP1. So now see, first, the values came from where to where? Browser to action method. We learned this in one separate session, remember? How to pass values from a browser to action method. One day we focused on a different options I shown you. Next, I shown everything separately. Next, I shown you how to pass values to action method to view separately now. Now the received value should be sent to the view now. How to send? Now decide yourself. You want to access only in that view, or you want to access in all the views for the user, all the views for all the users. Based on that, you require to decide now. View data, temp data, session, application. I want to access this data throughout my application. What shall I do? I have the 4 values I want to access for all users in all views now. Application. I should use a application. I want to access in all the views for this user only. Session. It should be a session. I want to access only in the corresponding view for this user. View data or view bag. View data or view bag. Anything can be used. So here I want to access only in this view here, not in any other places. I want to access only in this view. So what I'm doing? View data of ID is equals to ID. View data of job is equals to job. view data of salary is equals to salary. Now, in display EMP, you can pick all the 4 values now. Add a view now. What view? Display EMP1. Add view. Come on. What? Table border is equals to 1. Align is equals to center. Width is equals to some 30%. Caption. Employee details. TR. PD. ID. Can I call it like this? Yes or not? Already explained you. Data stored in view data can be accessed to view back, and view back stored in view data. Reverse. Anyway, you can access. Second, name. Third, job. 4, now start from add EMP get. Add EMP get. First time when you send a request, always it goes to get only. Where is ASP button? I did not have any ASP button. Why we take both method at a time? Where you're asking, Mayuri? I did not understand. Why we take both method at a time? Did not get your question. Why you're talking to post and get? I'm not telling anything about that. I'm simply telling ID is to access the control on the client side. Name is to access the control on the server side. Getter, poster, that's none of your business. Simple common sense here. What is it? ID is for referring to the control in the client side. Name is for referring to the control in the server side. That's it. We don't have an object name. You can pass, but we don't have any class or anything. You can just use anonymous statement also pass. Click on save. All values came here. What is the action method? Add EMP only. But what is the view name? Display EMP1. The view name is display EMP1. Is it clear, all of you? Yes or not? See, day by day I'm changing. Yesterday, in the previous examples, I said you type the values in the address bar. Yes or not? Alright, today I'm telling why to type the values in address bar. I given you controls to enter the value now. See now, this is the same thing we done in the last example also, but there we type all the value manual in the address bar. Who will type here in the address bar? That's not right now. What is the process? Create a view, fill the values. Now the values goes to action method. Action method will receive the values, pass the values to view. Pass the values to the view. In this process, if you want to save this data, you're just required to bring models also into action. We'll talk about that in the database programming. Are you clear till now? Yes or not? Okay, so this is how you have just been adding up a method called add EMP and launched a view called display EMP1. And this method executes for get request. This method executes for post request. And coming here, form is the important tag. Otherwise, submit and reset will not work. And two important attributes of the form is method and action. Method is to tell how to transport the data from the browser to server. Method has two options, get and post. Get means the values are transported in the form of query strings and we can see them in the address bar. Post means the values are transported in an encrypted format in the background, which are not visible to anyone. You can read them on the server, but they are not visible to anyone. Second attribute, action. Action is to tell the name of the action method it has to invoke. The name of the action method it has to invoke. If we don't specify this, by default, it will invoke the same action. If add emp will call add emp only. Are you clear? It will call add emp will call add emp only. So it will invoke the same action method. Same way, method also has a default value. What the default value of a method? Get the poster. Get is the default value of method, and the same action method is the default value for action. I don't want to change that. What I want to change is only method now. That's why I said method is equals to post. So guys, have a look. Read. UIs are mandatory in every application. Yeah, the mobile application, web application, desktop UI is mandatory. Next. HTML provides you a set of controls to you now. Generally, that is the mechanism what we used to do in the previous. Now see, we call user interface as and we design them by using any of the below options now. What are the options we have? Option 1, HTML controls. Option 2, option 3, strongly typed HTML. What I shown you now? What I shown you now is HTML controls. Okay. Well, to test this, I created a new project, empty project, guys. What is the name? Next, add a controller, EMP controller, and return two action methods. First one is add EMP, HTTP guest, HTTP post. And see, I'm reading all the 4 values. I'm reading all the 4 values here. Now I add a view and I created the view. This code I copy pasted as it is only. What I used is only one attribute. What is it? Method. Okay. Now we are writing another view, and in the second view, we are writing the code to display. We are writing the code to display. In the bottom here, I'm adding another row there. Come back to add EMP again. Array, add EMP display. Again, click again. It will go to add EMP now. Again, add EMP. Again, display. Add EMP display. In between, if you save the code, the record will be saved off to database. Just a link to go to there again. So one more time, you can see I'm starting from add EMP. Get fill the values. Save. Add UEMP. Are you clear? So once I click on it again, it will take me to the add EMP page again. That's what I just added a link there. That's all. And you see the flow of control. Call. See that first it will invoke your get action method. Now it will invoke post action method and launches display EMP1 view. Understood? So correctly, just to check in the address bar, the flow of all the things you must understand carefully. Look, guys, read this paragraph. My parameter name is exactly matching with my control name. Correct or not? What is that? My parameter name is exactly matching with the control name. Yeah, you can read like this any number of controls values now. But what is the drawback? Tomorrow, if there are 30 controls, 30 parameters should be used. Are you clear? If there are 30 controls, 30 parameters should be used. Clear? And to simplify this, we have an option called as form collection. To simplify this, we have an option called as form collection. What is that, sir? Observe it, guys. I'm commenting this method, rewriting it again. Okay, we'll write on the top. HTTP post public view result, and you can use a parameter called as you can use something called form collection, and now you can just read the form collection values in your code now. You can read the form collection values in your code like this. Int ID is equals to FC of ID. Form collection of ID. No need to write request.form. Simply FC of ID. But same problem. This is compulsory. Of sir. Like this also we can read. Like this also we have an option to read. Are you guys clear? This is another way how you can use it. What is it? Form collection. Okay, now I want to path them to a view. Without writing like this, directly we'll write up here. View data of ID is equals to view data of name is equals to view data of job is equals to next is equals to return view. It's now same only I've written for you in another style. That's all. This is one style of writing the code. This is another style of writing the code. We are writing in this way. So run and see, do you get the same output or not? You got the same output only, nothing different. Is it clear, all of you? One way you can do is define parameters. But if you feel parameters are becoming lengthy, you can use this. But unfortunately, here also drawback is there. What is the drawback? Not type safe. Not type safe here. Explicit conversions required. And another thing is, if parameter names are misspelled, no compile time, runtime error. See here I am writing IDS. Control present, no error will come. Compile time error also will not come. Runtime, you will break your head to find out what is the mistake. I entered a value in the export, the value is not coming there now. What happened? No, some error comes, fine. When error doesn't come, you cannot identify the problem correctly. Is it clear? Fine. Yeah. This is how I rewritten the method. I did not do a conversion again. Why? Directly assigned off. The values comes as strings. Let it be. You're not doing any manipulations now. Directly showing them. That's all now. So that's way. If you want to be much clearer, write into dot parse off. Even you don't write, no issue. Reason, if you're doing any calculations on salary, conversion is mandatory. Am I doing directly showing the values? So that's way I did not do any conversion. But this is like this also, we can read the value. How to read? Form collection. You want to achieve type safety? Tell me, you want type safety? This is where we ended up in the last class. This is where we ended up in the last class now. Okay. So what is that? Define a model. Define a model now. Help me please. What should I do? What is the name? Employee. Let me check what name I used in the code. Employee on. Employee. Public. Gets it. Model object. Okay, now let us come to EMP controller. Let me comment this method again and let us rewrite in a new style now. HTTP post. Public view result. Add EMP. What do you do? Directly we can use a model now. But if you want to use a model, I should import the namespace. Which namespace? By system dot. MVC UI designing dot models. Last class I explained you now. MVC UI designing dot models. Is it imported? No, no. Okay. It's not imported. I should import. Imported C. That's a new feature in Visual Studio 2022. If you type the class name, it will write up the import statement automatically. It will write off your import statement automatically. That's automatically generated for you there. Generated C. I'm getting off MVC UI designing the models. Simply type the class name correctly there. That's all. It will import you. Now, return view. I want to transfer to display MP2. And for this, pass the model object. Finish. I changed that why in display MP2 you are required to use model binding and design it. That's why I changed the view. Which I'm calling? What am I passing? Model object. The model object is passed now. Now this model object will carry all the values to the view now. Recollect yourself last class. I explained how to create the view. Add view. Come on. at the rate model MVC dot models dot employee. Table border is equals to 1. Align is equals to center. Some width I'm giving. Caption employee details. TR TD ID. ID at the rate model dot ID. Intelligent support is available now. Second, name dot is what I'm telling you. Intelligence type safety also. ID is integer, guys. The name is string. Salary. Okay. And at the bottom, add a link for navigating to add EMP again. Okay, now. So I've written the add EMP method one more time, but now I use the model object. See, 3 options now. Option 1, individual parameters. Option 2, form collection. Option 3, model object. I use the model object now. Still will be confusing, like what should I use when, sir? Simple common sense here. If your values are less in number, use of parameters. One value to use parameters here. Don't define any classes or anything. Okay, now? Second, my values are more, but I want to use them one time only, not for multiple times. Form collection. My values are more, but I want to use them only one time just to display. I don't want any type safeties or anything. Form collection. My values are more and I want to use in different places. I want to deal with database, different areas I want to use it. Then go for model objects. Then go for the model objects. We need to pick up a perfect option based on the requirements. That is why they have given you different options for us. Okay. So the biggest confusion is choosing them only. Did you catch my point or not? The biggest confusion is choosing them only. When you choose something, your lead can ask you a question. Why did you choose this? Got my point? You choose something and written the code. Your lead can ask you, why did you choose this mechanism? Why not something else? So you should be ready with your answer also. Why did you choose this? So simply, I want to use these values only for one time. That's why I gone for a form collection. Are you clear? But I want to also deal with a database. Then form collection is not the right mechanism. Compulsory, you're required to go for model objects. Model objects. So 3 different options. I shown you all 3 for you in this scenario. First, you understood the last point now? What is that? Type safety, and we have type safety available. We have intelligence available. Both the 2 options will be available to you. So what did I do first? Employee class is defined. Second, I'm rewriting the add EMP method. What I used? Employee EMP. The view name is passing the model object. Now, I add a view. First line, importing the model. Now, going to show model.id, model.name, model.job, model.salary. And this is type safe. This is type safe, and second one, IntelliSense. ViewBag also we call like this only, but ViewBag only provides to type safety, but not IntelliSense. For ViewBag also, names wrongly spelled, error will not come, but here error comes. You misspell the name, error comes. That's error, guys. Got it or not? It's an error. Clearly, there is a error here. But when you come to your ViewBag or any of these particular things, what we used here, when I use a wrong character there, no error. Value won't come. Compile time error won't come. Runtime error also won't come. You should correctly type that, and if you misspelled, errors won't come. So to avoid that only, model objects plays a very crucial role in the UI designing part. Okay, fine. You can see flow of control. It launch you add-emp post action method, and it will launch you the view display emp2. Add-emp post action will be invoked and launches you display emp2. Okay now, and how did we design the UI here? That's what we designed. Okay now. Well, guys, now look here. I want to create a text box now. I want to create a text box in HTML. How do I create? Two mandatory things I should use now. ID is equals to something. Suppose I want to capture the salary of the user. ID is equals to this is how you are going to create a text box. Correct? Okay. Without you writing the code like this here, MVC given you an option. What is it? There is one predefined class called as HTML helper. Your object-oriented programming now. HTML helper. In that class, there is a method called text box. If you call the method, it will create a text box for you. Did you catch my point? What is the class name? HTML helper. What is the method name? Text box. Will create a text box to you. So if you want to do it, first I should create an instance of the class now. Yes or not? Without creating the instance is also created and provided to you ready-made. The instance is also created and provided to you ready-made. And the name of the instance is HTML. @HTML dot text box is a method. What is the name of your text box? That's all. Write like this. And this is going to generate you Did you understand me? Your code is simple now. What you're writing, see? @HTML.textbox. What is the name? What is the name? Salary. And when you write that, that will generate you this to you now. Sir, I don't require to give ID, name and all. No need. It will only write all the things for you. It will only write all the things for you. These are what we call as HTML helper methods. This is what we call as HTML helper methods. So if you want to create a text box, that is a code from now. You want to create a label, same, @HTML.label. Is it clear or not? And that is going to do all the rendering work for you without writing anything manually. Just for example, just observe it. In the display emp1 on the top here, I'm just writing @HTML.textbox. Something, guys, balance. Array, something I'm just calling balance. Okay now? So I'm just writing a simple statement @HTML.textbox balance. Now let me run the did we write? Oh, I written in display EMP1. Sorry, guys, because we are launching display EMP2 here. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's write in text box created. See, not here, guys. Go to view source and see the code. Right click, view page source, and observe it, all of you. It return the code for you. See, input ID is equals to balance, name is equals to. See, it's generating ID and name also for you now. Array, you don't require to type all the things now. Which one is simple now? Which one is simple? HTML helpers are simple now. I don't require to write all this code. Simply at the HTML.textbox and tell the name. Automatically to generate you all the required things to you. Okay, say type is equal. Default is generating a value also. Value is equals to empty string. Value is equals to empty string. But guys, if all you want to give a value, default value for this, suppose you want to give a default value for this. For example, it's a overload method. It is a overload method. That's the default value now. That is a default value which comes into overloading here. Pure object oriented now. You just try to call the methods and the methods will generate you the controls. View page source. Observe here. That's what I'm telling you. Earlier value is empty string and now value is hello. Are you getting me? Okay. Sir, can I make it read only? I want to make it as read only. You want to make it read only? Another overload. Comma. Read. You can pass the HTML attributes now. How to pass as an anonymous type? As a anonymous type. How do you pass? New. Open the curly braces. Oh. Open the curly brace and specify the attributes what you just wanted to use. I just wanted to use a read-only attribute. I want to use a read-only attribute. Read-only is equals to true. But guys, read-only is a keyword in C#. Read-only is a keyword in C#. If wherever keywords are there, don't forget a at the rate. And otherwise, you remember placeholder attribute. Placeholder is equals to enter name. I'm just giving some placeholder value now. I did not use @C. Are you getting me or not? I did not use the @ in this case. So now I'll get a placeholder attribute also. See, I should not give a value now. Both will come off. Okay, just a minute. Value is there now. Placeholder, see, enter name. So go right click and view page source. Generated. When you're using these attributes, remember, if these attributes are C# keywords, you're required to use @. Tomorrow, I want to apply a CSS class. Comma. Class is equals to, I'm writing class is equals to, that is C# keyword here. So what should I do? @. Understood? And IntelliSense will help you. What is that? When you put your commas and all, it is showing you what are the attributes to pass now. What to pass, everything, it's a method now. It is a method. When you put here, it is telling you what? First value should be name, second value should be object, third value should be HTML attribute. And see, I explained you anonymous types last class only. The reason for that is all this information is passed as anonymous type only. See there, new of, open the curly brace and the list of attribute values now. Suppose you are just trying to use some class here, something like it's a CSS class name. I can use it like this now. These are what we call HTML helpers. So many helper methods are given to you by Microsoft. We can just use them in your code. First one, they will generate your starting form tag now, end form, ending form tag, hyperlink, anchor tags we use in the hyperlinks, checkbox, drop down list, hidden, list box, password, radio button, label, text box, text area, display, editor, simply type @HTML dot. You will see the list of all the methods. If a helper method is not there, then you can again depend on HTML. Because for submit and reset, no helper methods are there. What you require to depend is again on the HTML input types only. Okay, sir, is it mandatory I should use this? No need here. Option, that's all. I'm comfortable with HTML. Write HTML code only. Understood my point or not? But this one is object-oriented programming syntax. Okay, so how to write the code? What is the return type? String is the return type. This is what you have written, and this is what it generated. Clear? That is what it is going to generate for you. And see, in the above case, @HTML is an instance of the class. And this class will generate the required HTML and return it in the form of a string when we call methods of the class. And these methods are called as HTML helper methods. And all of them are extension methods. All these methods are extension methods. I hope you guys remember about extension methods. You just checked out a video of these extension methods in the YouTube. If anyone has no idea about it, you go to the Naresh IT channel and there's a video on extension methods for it. And just to go through the video, because I remembered all of you to watch that video in your classes already. Is it clear? Okay. Okay. First, try HTML controls. Tomorrow I'll show you creating the same forms by using helpers. Once we learned helpers, then we'll go to strongly typed. When you learn the second one is easy only, directly straight away. But one special advantage is there. That's all. We'll talk tomorrow. Let's stop here. Because you used @ before the class. Shrestha. Because you used @ before the class. Anything can be done. Because that is finally generating HTML, you can use them directly in your CSS. If you give wrong values, error will come, Sai. If you give wrong value, error will come. That is type safety. Sai, there is a type safety. We'll talk about it later. You're putting @ now. When you're putting @, that is not C# class. That is why you are putting @. That is why, what is it telling you? If you say class, it's a confusion like it can be a class. That's why what you're writing @ class. Class means C# class. @ class means HTML attribute.